Hey there, it's Sara, and I'm coming at you with a shorty episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. And today I am talking all about the season of renewal, why spring is a great time to decide to ditch alcohol. I don't know about you, but I am so excited that spring is finally here. It is my favorite season. Spring is my first favorite season, fall is my second. I guess you can say I'm a person who likes the seasons of change. I think it reminds us that we're possible of change. And especially in spring, we're reminded that renewal happens. After a cold winter where the ground has been frozen, all of a sudden plants start emerging. And on our land, it gets to this point where you start to think, oh my gosh, forest, you gotta stop growing. You're going crazy. But it is so cool because during the winter, our land feels bare. And it is just so fun for me to see our forest come alive again and all the birds start chirping again and all the frogs start singing their little frog song. I think you can see that it really is my favorite season. And I think it is so cool when Mother Nature reminds us we can renew. We can make changes like this too. Maybe we had a winter where we just kind of felt bleh, or we had a lot of goals for ourselves and we just didn't hit them. Like maybe we set all these New Year's resolutions and then winter was there and the days were really short and we just didn't have it in us. Now is a time where you can renew and you can make a change. Spring really is the ultimate season where you can reset, refresh, and thrive. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the symbolic connection between spring and sobriety. We'll talk about why spring is the perfect time to recommit to your alcohol-free goals. And I'll give you practical ways to embrace this season of renewal on your alcohol-free journey. Since spring is the perfect time to reconnect to your alcohol-free journey, you may want to consider hopping into my Refresh and Reboot 30-Day Alcohol-Free Challenge. The link is in the show notes where you can get all the information about this challenge. In this challenge, I set you up with daily emails and daily videos for the first 30 days of your alcohol-free journey. There's also an online community where you can comment below each video as you watch them. And there's a downloadable workbook that you can print out to help guide you through the videos. And there's also a downloadable journal so you can start reframing your mindset from the mindset of a drinker to a non-drinker. If you want to do this 30-day alcohol-free challenge, just head to the link in the show notes and get all signed up today. All right, let's dive into the episode. First, we're going to be talking about the symbolism of spring and sobriety. Like I said in the beginning, spring represents growth and transformation. The world is coming back to life. Flowers are blooming, the days are getting longer, and energy is returning to all of us. Sobriety can be the same. Maybe you've just gotten caught in the drinking cycle again, or maybe you've just felt really disconnected from the joy you once felt in your alcohol-free journey. Or maybe you're stuck in a cycle where you keep starting and stopping on your alcohol-free journey. All of these are totally normal places to be within an alcohol-free journey, but I want you to know that after a period of feeling stuck or heavy or just exhausted on your journey, you can step into something lighter and full of possibility. You can also look at this time as leaving the winter of drinking behind. And maybe you weren't drinking over the winter, you were still sober, but you just got really disconnected from your routines or the things that you know you can do to make your sobriety feel easier. This is still for you. You can leave behind your winter of feeling disconnected from your sober self. Winter can feel like the season of hibernation, darkness, and stagnation. So sometimes it's normal for us to feel stuck in the winter. And drinking can often feel like this, and it can leave us feeling foggy and stuck and disconnected. But just like nature, we have the opportunity to wake up and start new. I want you to think about that first warm day of spring where you can finally open the windows, you can go outside and feel the sun on your skin. It feels like anything is possible. I want you to bring that feeling into your alcohol-free journey as well. So why, in my opinion, is spring the best season to stay sober? I'm going to give you 4 reasons, and I'm sure as I go through these, you're going to feel connected to at least one of them. The first one is that there's increased energy and motivation in the spring. The days get longer, and that means we have more opportunity to get outside and do those outdoor activities. One awesome thing about outdoor activities is that we're getting that sunlight, and that gives us a boost of dopamine. When we have dopamine in our systems, we feel like we can get stuff done. We can make things happen. So get out there and take advantage. Start hiking or walking or biking, kayaking, gardening, or even just sitting outside and reading a book and soaking up that sun. Let this increase in dopamine start taking over and helping you feel like you can take on anything, even an alcohol-free journey. Spring is also a great time for a fresh start after winter habits. Winter can often bring in drinking habits like staying in and drinking wine, or holiday parties, or even just drinking to pass the time because you just feel like there's not much to do in the winter because the days are so short. So look at spring as a chance to reset, reestablish new routines, and start up new healthy habits. I know you're going to have the energy to do more of this stuff, so take advantage. I also feel like there's so many more social opportunities without alcohol in the spring and into the summer. Some people tend to disagree with me on this, and they're like, oh, I feel like this is when drinking really picks up. But when you think about it, you can actually go do things like hike, biking, kayaking, all the things that I mentioned before. All of those can be done without alcohol. And then when you're done with the activity, you actually have more energy because you chose not to drink. And then you can continue on with doing more cool stuff throughout the day. This just gives you new creative ways to connect with your friends. And that way you can actually invite them to say, hey, let's go out for coffee in the morning and then we can go on a short hike. None of that has to revolve around drinking, and it's a simple way to hang out with your friends and reconnect. Spring is also a great time for spring cleaning, and I'm not talking about spring cleaning your house. I'm actually talking about spring cleaning your mind and body. Many people focus on decluttering their homes at this time of year, getting under the furniture and cleaning up dust bunnies, but why not do the same thing with your daily routines and habits? Actually go through and start cleaning up your daily habits, cleaning up your daily routines. Start refocusing on what you want all of this to look like for you. And also start looking at what habits no longer serve you. It's time to declutter those and get them out of your mind and body. A sober spring means waking up clear-headed and being fully present for a season of possibility. So how can you embrace renewal in your sobriety this spring? First, you could try something new. Use the energy of spring to take on a new hobby. This is always when the spring season starts for my choir, and it is my favorite season with choir because as I'm driving home from the rehearsals, the days are just getting longer, and it's just so cool to reconnect with my friends and sing with them, make awesome music, and just enjoy this season. It's also a time where you can get outside, spend more time out in nature. I love to use this season to clean up our land, maybe start some seedlings in our garden, and even start planning what flowers I'm going to pot in all of our planters around the land. So I want to challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone and start trying something new. Take on a new adventure for yourself this spring. It's also a great time to start spending more time out in nature. It's honestly my favorite time to get out in nature because summer for me is a little too hot. Like the only activity I really want to do in the summer is go swimming at the lake or kayaking because sometimes I am just too hot to do anything else in the summer. So spring is really my time where I love to get outside. The days are finally long enough so I feel like I can take on adventures and they don't consume the whole day. So I want you to do the same. Take advantage of the better weather, start getting outside and reconnecting with nature. It can even be as simple as starting to have your morning coffee outside, so don't feel like you have to take on some huge outdoor nature activity. Just get outside and enjoy the better weather. You can also take this time to spring clean your social circles. Evaluate the people and places that support your most positive environment and your sobriety. And start seeking out alcohol-free activities and events that are in alignment with your sobriety goals. I also want you to set a spring intention in your alcohol-free journey. Instead of setting rigid goals, think of choosing a theme for the season instead, something like renewal, growth, clarity, or lightness. You can come up with a theme of your spring season by using this journal prompt. What do I want to nurture in my life this spring? And then just start brain dumping all the thoughts that come to your head when you think about this. What do I want to nurture in my life this spring? I hope that this has motivated you and made you see why spring can be the perfect time to get reconnected with your alcohol-free journey. I think a lot of times we start thinking things like, oh, the weather's getting nicer. This is when I used to get outside and drink all the time. But instead, looking at it as a way of being more like nature, using this time as a time of renewal and rebirth for yourself. Shifting your mindset like this can make spring such a magical time. I want you to set your spring intention, and if it happens to be starting your alcohol-free journey, remember to get set up with my 30-day alcohol-free challenge. The link to join is in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, and share it with a friend. And thank you so much for listening. I'll be in your ear in the next episode.